Good evening and welcome to another edition of Football Corner, where we give you the best of fixtures, prediction and highlights and much more of updates. Whatever going on around the Football Corner, we make sure that we bring it light here so that you can get the full package of prediction, highlights and as well as updates on Football Corner. And today we have a special guest whose name is Mr. Kachasa. Welcome to the program.
Thank you very much, William. It's nice to be here.
Yeah, and in today's show, we'll be giving you the best of fixtures, especially the result that was happening during the week, and as well on the weekend, we'll go on and give you the next fixtures of the game that will be played in Premier League, La Liga, as well as Serie A. But before we do that, ladies and gentlemen, my name is PC Williams, and this is Football Corner. The results of Premier League were so fantastic, to the fact that some of you were wondering what is happening to your team. But for Liverpool fans and Manchester City, there are a lot of things that is happening there, Mr. Kachasa.
Yeah, it's an interesting title race. It's more even interesting for the neutrals, but if you're a Liverpool fan or a Man City fan, I'm sure your heart keeps being fast. Yeah. But it's an interesting title.
But even Manchester City now, because after the draw against West Ham, do you think there is a change of wind that Liverpool will catch up at the end of the league?
Well, I think it's more of a wait and see moment. It's Man City we are talking about. Normally when they lose a game, they react by pitting the next opponents. So it's how the game is at the moment. They looked nervy. They were down 2-0 at half time, but in the second half they showed that they are the champions and the Corais in the game.
But we are remaining with one game. And Liverpool is going to play against Southampton on Tuesday, and that's a plus for them. If they win that game, and maybe in the last game they will do something again. Yeah,
Liverpool, this will be their 61, maybe 62 match in the season. Who do they even play? Salah is looked off in the FA Cup final. Van Dijk was substituted. Mane looks tired. Diaz looks tired.
Don't you think that was a strategy for them, because they have UEFA Champions League coming up against Real Madrid?
Yeah, I think in their plan they were thinking Man City will beat West Ham and eventually win the last game against Aston Villa. But now Man City has drawn against West Ham. It's given them the chance again to win the league.
Pick it up.
So if you're Klopp right now, what do you do? Do you play the tired guys or do you rest them? I think in his mind it was like, okay, the Premier League is done. Let me rest players for the Champions League final. But Man City drew yesterday.
But so far Liverpool have clinched 2 titles and they are waiting for another 2 titles. Do you think they can manage to get a quadruple?
It's within reach for them to be immortals, something that has never been done before in football, winning 4 trophies in one season. They've won 2 to go. They are favorites for the Champions League, but I think Man City are still favorites for the Premier League. But it would be a nice story if Steven Gerrard was beat Man City or draw them.
And that's a favor everybody's asking, that Steven Gerrard being a Liverpool regent, that maybe he will try by all means to help his former club. Do you think that's the way it's gonna be? Or
I think it's a profession, so you go into the game planning to win it for his team. Aston Villa is at Aston Villa now, but what a script. A Liverpool regent who never won the league, handing Liverpool the league at the end of the day. To be an interesting.
Yeah, all right. If you are watching Football Corner, or you just join us now, we are still talking about the result that happened during the week, and in the week. Liverpool played against Aston Villa and they won 2-1, as well as Man City played against Wolves on Wednesday and they won 5-1. Chelsea played against Leeds and they won 3-0, as well as Everton continue fighting not to be relegated. They also drew against Watford, who has been relegated already, and Leicester City continue dominating and they hammered the already relegated team, which is Norwich City, and 3-1. And all these games were played during the week on Wednesday as well. And on Thursday, Tottenham, they are not giving up top 4. They hammered Arsenal 3-0. But we are going to look about this week's games. Were we expecting Tottenham to draw after hammering Arsenal 1-0?
After hammering Arsenal 3-0?
3-0 rather.
Yeah. Tottenham have been up and down. Inconsistency has been the season so far. But it was a tough game against Burnley, the one they played.
Yeah.
But eventually they managed to win it through a Harry Kane penalty. So it's good for them. It's good for their momentum. Arsenal still have to play Newcastle and Everton. Spurs are just remaining with one game, and at the moment they're above Arsenal. If Arsenal wins all their games, they qualify to the Champions League. But
do you think again, with the remaining games, Tottenham will sweep out in the last game? If we assume that Arsenal maybe failed to win one game,
I think it's all to Arsenal. I think Spurs will win their last game. And I think if Arsenal wants to play the Champions...
And now, since they're already in top 4, according to the log, they have the chance of qualifying in the Premier League.
A very big chance.
In the Champions League.
It's all up to Arsenal. If Arsenal wants to play the Champions League next season, they have to beat Newcastle and Everton. And it's not much to ask from an Arsenal team anyway to beat Newcastle and Everton.
Wow, let's shift to the relegation. We've seen Everton trying to survive by all means. And you've seen... we were expecting them to win at the end of the game, but unfortunately Brentford were like, no, you're going down.
You're going. Yeah, it's an interesting relegation, but I think Everton being relegated would be the biggest team to be relegated. I think for me, after Leeds were relegated, it's a big club. They've got expensive players. Those players don't deserve to go down in the Championship. But as a Liverpool fan, I want them relegated. This man is not going to be relegated
because of the Merseyside derby issue.
I want them gone.
But don't you think Everton, they've contributed much into the effect of a Premier League? Them being relegated, don't you think it will affect the league in some way?
Yeah, it will be a bad thing for league, but I think they're safe. Because at the moment, they're above Leeds and Burnley. They're 2 points above Burnley, a point above Leeds. And the goodness about the relegation battle is different from the title race.
Yeah.
Their teams don't win much. So even if you're up by a point or 2 points, that's an advantage. I think if they just draw or win their remaining game, I think they'll be okay. Because teams at the bottom 5, they don't know win consistently. And Burnley have got Newcastle and Aston Villa. Those are not easy games.
All right. And now shifting our attention to Patson Daka. What is happening to Patson Daka? Do you think Vardy, we've seen the performance in the past 2 games, he has been on target.
Yeah, and then he was out for some time.
Patson Daka's game time is keep on reducing. Just yesterday we saw how he came on in the 8-something minute. Is it 83 somewhere, if I can remember correctly?
Yeah. The problem with the Premier League is that it's a fast league. You don't have, there's not much time
for you to adapt.
And because managers are under pressure, teams are under pressure, especially when you're playing for a Leicester team that's trying to be ambitious and push into Europe. We saw when Vardy was absent, Patson didn't do himself much justice. So when Vardy came back and he's come back as usual, he's now scoring. He's scoring goals. He's got a brace yesterday, which is good for him. So it's tough time for Patson, but he has to be a professional, continue working hard, continue doing what he does best.
Are you assuming that next season we're going to see the change of performance? Are you assuming that Patson Daka's performance will change in the next season?
I think he would have matured 2 years in England.
Yeah.
I think he knows the league now. So I think it will be a better season for him. But I'm just afraid Vardy's not going anywhere.
Adding on that Vardy's age is catching him.
Yeah, seems so. But I watched him play against Watford. The guy doesn't look a year old. He looks fit as usual.
Yeah.
Refreshed from his injury. He's not going anywhere until maybe 2-3 years from now. But you have to fight. That's the Premier League. That's the challenge of the Premier League. Quality is quality in the Premier League. So Patson has to fight for his place and has to start scoring.
Yeah.
Because if you're a striker in the Premier League, you're judged on how you score.
There have been an argument, especially in the netizen of Zambian especially. They are saying, no, the majority of his players, they don't usually pass him the ball, especially the midfielders. Are you in the same arguments?
No, I think that's... That's just Zambians trying to look for an excuse. That's how Leicester play. Their number 9 is mainly just a focal point. Is the guy they give that final pass. They don't normally build up their play with their number 9. They don't play like the Man City way, or maybe the Liverpool way, where their number 9 drops help in building up the play. Mainly with Leicester, it's about pace, it's about fast football. They don't use their number 9 that much. So that has been Leicester. They just have to adapt to that way. And I don't think Patson is a ball player.
Yeah.
I think he's a runner and a goal scorer.
So in that case, do you think maybe there need to be that coordination between him and the midfielders, because they need to find, I'm sure due to training, they know that, okay, Patson Daka moves like this, Inacho moved like this, Vardy moved like this.
Yeah.
So us as midfielders, since we are providers, we need to give Patson Daka in these areas and these areas.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, William. Because normally when you're coaching a team, one thing you say to your midfielder is that if you can't find your striker, I can't play you. That's your number 1 job, is to find a striker. So if Leicester midfielders can find Iheanacho, if they can find Vardy, and they're not finding Patson, maybe it's more to do with Patson.
And that's where the argument is. Because look at the game that played yesterday. Vardy wasn't making much of the moves, but still the midfielder and the wingers were managing to find him.
Yeah.
But when it comes to Patson Daka, it's a different story. It's rarely you find that Patson Daka is dropping much, which is losing much energy to go and score.
Yeah, I think he's got a lot to learn, especially from Vardy. Their movement are totally different. If you watch how they move on and off the ball, the way they keep the ball is totally different. One thing they have in common is pace. And we're lucky that you can't learn pace. If you're fast, you're fast. If you're slow, you're slow. You can learn movement. You can learn how you control the ball. So he's lacking in things you can adapt and learn, and that's a good thing for him. And eventually you learn. The Leicester is a big team.
Yeah.
You didn't expect him to just go there and make it happen. I think you adapt over time.
All right. We were just giving you the round of fixtures, that especially the game that played yesterday, and a bit of the game that played during the week is on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday as well. But before we go on, please keep watching Football Corner, where we give you the best of fixtures, highlight, and prediction. Stay tuned.
No, I mean, my job is to find out exactly what your thoughts are.
But you must also...
But it's darkest before dawn. We are at this hour where the pressure is being felt, where you can't get a call.
I don't see it as criticism. I see it as advice. Yes. If you see the way our statements are couched, we advise him on...
Perform very well, because sometimes it's important to admit that we are the challenges here and there, not because we wanted to do so, but
you go to procurement, there are all those issues of procurement. You want to clean that department.
We are not going to allow cadres,
one word, shocking,
into a level where the economy is sustainable for almost the average Zambian. That is very important, because if we miss that,
Welcome back to Football Corner, where we give you the best of fixtures, results, highlights, and anything concerning football. But we were talking about yesterday's games, as well as the game that were played on Saturday, Tuesday, Wednesday, just throughout the week. And I've been joined by Kachasa, who's giving us some in-depth analysis to these games which were played this weekend and as well as during the week. We were talking about Leicester City and the performance of Patson Daka. Now, shifting away from that, these are the games that will be played during the week. on Thursday we're having Leicester City back against Chelsea. Do you think Patson Daka's chance were going to have a chance to beat Chelsea?
I think they have a chance. Are they going to beat Chelsea? I don't think so. But they've got an advantage. Chelsea played a very, very tough game. Played 120 minutes against Liverpool. So Leicester have got a chance, but I think Chelsea will just be too good for them. And I think if you're Brendan Rodgers, you, unfortunately for us Zambians, you start Vardy over Patson Daka.
Yeah, I'm looking at Vard's performance of the game that they played against Watford, where they hammered Watford 5-1. To me, I don't think Patson Daka have a chance to start against Chelsea.
Yeah. You know, this is football at the highest level. This is not kindergarten where you play someone because you like them or you feel maybe sorry for them or what. You play, people are performing, and at the moment, Vardy did put up a good show on Sunday, so I think he will start against Chelsea. Plus, they're playing Chelsea, one of the biggest clubs in England. They need experience.
And all right, if you are watching Football Corner, please, you are allowed to send us your prediction of the game that the team that you think will win the game. You can just predict. If it's Liverpool who win the game, you can say 3-2, whichever way you want to predict it. Or if you are a Chelsea fan, you can also do the same thing. But all we want is your prediction, and we'll be leading them in our comment section on Saturday, where we will come back on another edition of Football Corner. Now shifting back to La Liga. You know, La Liga, it's another league where it's kind of tough.
Yeah. I think La Liga is done. La Liga is settled. I think Madrid are now champions. Barca have confirmed the second place, which is good for them.
But there's a fight between Atletico Madrid and against Sevilla.
Yeah, there's Sevilla, Atletico Madrid and Real Betis for the top four. But I think Atletico will do it, and I think
they're already third after getting a draw against Sevilla.
Yeah, I think they'll be fine. Sevilla needs to win their last game. Yeah. If they lose, then Betis win. It'll be a different thing for them. But I think they'll be fine. I think they'll win or probably even draw their last game to increase the top four race.
All right, these are the games that we had during the week. On Tuesday, we had Barcelona winning against Celta Vigo, as well as Valencia winning against Real Betis. Real Betis won 3-0 against Valencia. And on Wednesday, we had Atletico Madrid playing against Elche, and they also won 2-0. Sevilla, it's unfortunate they drew against Mallorca on Wednesday, and again they drew against Atletico Madrid. Do you think they have the chance to be in top four and play Champions League next season?
Sevilla. Yeah, I think they will be in the Champions League next season. Yeah, just that.
But there's no chance. There's no chance of fighting back. Real Betis is fighting to be.
Yeah, Real Betis is fighting. And but I fancy Sevilla chances.
You sound like you support Sevilla. Your comment is biased. Okay, anyway, and the games that the result that we have for this weekend for La Liga, Real Madrid drew against Cadiz. Real Betis won 2-1 against Granada. Atletico Madrid drew against Sevilla, and Villarreal lost against Real Sociedad 2-1. And we are expecting this fixture for next week, where Barcelona will play against Villarreal and Real Madrid will play against Real Betis. You've seen where the top four chance.
And Sevilla is playing Atletico Bilbao. But if you're playing Real Madrid at the moment, still in the league, it's a nice time to play Real Madrid.
Because they are relaxed for Champions League.
Their focus is on the Champions League. They are only playing for momentum sake. Momentum sake.
I saw their lineup. There were a lot of changes.
Lots of changes because you don't want injuries when you've already won the league.
And Hazard came back. we were expecting that. Maybe he'll be the hero. You remember last time, Bale? He was out for injury, at least for a longer period. But against Liverpool, he just showed up and
scored a wonder goal.
Do you think it will be the same thing to Hazard?
No, I don't even think he'll get a chance of playing into the game.
I
think Ancelotti has already made his mind on who will play in the Champions League.
So what's your prediction? What's your prediction according to the table? How is it going to be in the last game of La Liga, starting from the top up to 5th?
I think Madrid solely confirmed champions. Barca second. I think Atletico Madrid will be third, and I think Sevilla will be fourth. Unfortunately for Real Betis, I don't think Sevilla will slip up. Plus, they're playing at home against Atletico Bilbao. I think they'll be fine.
All right. If you are still watching Football Corner, you can send your prediction into the comments on our Facebook page or our social media platform, and we'll get to read those comments on Saturday 11 hours where we'll have another Football Corner edition. But now moving away from La Liga, we're going back to Serie A, where there is a fight against the Milan brothers.
Yeah, it's an interesting fight amongst the brothers. Yeah, but AC Milan wants to win their first league title in 11 years.
At least for Inter Milan, they won.
Yeah, they won it last season.
Yeah,
AC Milan haven't won the league in 11 years, and that's surprising because AC Milan it's an Italian household team.
So, what's your prediction? Because these are the game that we had in Serie A. AC Milan battled against Atalanta, and Cagliari played against Inter Milan, and Napoli played Genoa, and we saw how these guys fought, and unfortunately we were not. Were you expecting Atalanta to lose against AC Milan?
Yeah. Pretty much, not.
Is it due to AC Milan fighting for the title?
Yeah. When you're fighting for the title, surely these players, if they win this title, they'll be heroes in the city. 11 years is a long time not to win a league title, and that momentum, the spirit. The stadium was awesome. Yeah, the game was also awesome to watch.
All right, these are the next Sunday fixture for Serie A, where we have Torino versus AC Milan, and Fiorentina versus Juventus, and Sassuolo versus AC Milan. Inter Milan will play against Sampdoria. You can also give your prediction about these games that will be played next Sunday. I think this is the last game for these games, right?
Yeah, the last game. The most interesting thing about Serie A is that Inter on 81 points, AC Milan on 83. Inter playing at home against Sampdoria, who was 16th on the table, so you expect them to have an easy win.
Yeah.
The most interesting is AC Milan travels to Sassuolo, who are 11th on the league table. So it's an interesting.
But with the power they have, how angry they have for the title, I don't think they will let Sassuolo walk over them.
You expect AC Milan to win, but this is an experienced squad when it comes to winning trophies, and they'll be playing away from their fans. You saw how their fans helped them beat Atalanta, but they'll be away at Sassuolo, and Sassuolo just like to have a say in the title race. I think.
All right. Due to time, let's conclude to the under-16s performance. Here we just quickly. I just ask you, being a Rito Stars Football Academy, who's more passionate about the academy, do you think we should invest much in the academy?
Yeah, I think we should, because I've always said this wherever I've been, Williams. Football in Zambia, we're skillful players, okay, and so we need people to grow up with the ball on their feet more, so that we can be able to produce that. When they grow up eventually at the highest level of football. Most of Zambian players are ball players, our best players, the best players we've ever produced. You talk of the Calabas, the Karusha Warriors, they are ball players. So we need to start identifying them when they're young.
Looking at the result they have, Zambia played against Georgia, unfortunately they lost on penalties, and again they played against Azerbaijan. They won 3-1. And again, they played against a club team, which is Lokomotiv Tbilisi, and they won 1-0. do you think the guys are showing that sign that at least if we have a good foundation at club level, academy at club level, we invest much on that? Do you think Zambian football will go high?
Yeah, because you need to have a strong grassroots at the end of the day. It's just funny that Zambian football under 16, under 20, under 17, we've been doing fine, but the problem has been graduating those players into the senior national team. That's another gap we have to bridge as a country, because that's what the problem is. We've been winning in the unders, but... All right.
You know, as they say, when you're having a good moment, time will never be with you. We just want to congratulate Brenda Kunda, who was elected as COSAFA EXCO member, and she also served in the FAS Executive Committee from 2016 to 2021, and she has moved to regional board where she has taken up the female EXCO position. Congratulations, and we need to see more female, participating in such position at FAS level as well and club level as well.
Club level, yeah, that's a good thing for our country. It's a good thing for women in Zambia. Yeah, it's something we should celebrate as a country.
All right. Thank you very much for coming through, Kachasa.
Yeah, have a nice time here. Yeah, thanks very much.
All right. If you are a AC Milan fan, if you are a Liverpool fan, if you are Manchester City fan, Barcelona, Real Madrid, please give us your prediction, and all other teams as well. Hey, for Manchester United, I don't think so. Yeah, okay, all right. You can give us your prediction in the comments, and we'll get to read them on Thursday or on Saturday rather at 11 hours, where we'll have another edition of Football Corner. And ladies and gentlemen, this was Football Corner. See you on Saturday.